What's up, fantasy book fans? This is Fantology, just the Fantastic Four, less Ryan. But thanks for listening. We are covering October news today, and we are introducing our new November bracket challenge on Twitter, and that is going to be top 3 fantasy book covers. And there's obviously a visual component to this, so if you're tuning in and want to check out the YouTube video, there are some extra bonuses there. You can actually see visually what covers we're choosing. And you guys are ready to go with your covers, right? I heard this was a tough one.
I'm excited. Jake gave us a little sneak peek, and it turns out we might have some overlap. But I brought forward to the yard today, so I might be switching one of mine out.
There are a lot of good fantasy and sci-fi book covers, but it's hard to pick the best, and then it's also hard to find a good quality image of the best.
Jake, I had the opposite reaction. Going through like all these, I did not think that things were very good. So, but I think we should talk about this when we get to the actual set.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We're gonna start with news as we usually do. If you're not interested in that and just want to hear covers, skip to about like halfway through is usually where we end up talking our actual competition. So news this month: Battleground by Jim Butcher, the latest Dresden, came out right at the end of September, and we pretended like we had read it when we released that October recap or the September recap, but now we've actually read it. We spent a significant portion of October reading and reviewing that, and I know, Jake, you haven't gotten fully into Dresden yet, so unfortunately you might not be in this conversation as much, but Ben and Josh, I know us three, we were really into the book. For the most part, we liked it, but I mean, it was a little divisive though. There's a lot that happened, and so pretty big moments. And we've had a lot of reaction on our video that lots of people want to tell us what they think about this one.
Yep. And what fans want you to know is that Butcher was tortured to make it 2 books by the publisher.
Yes, and we have had so many YouTube comments telling us that.
Yeah. So
how does that work?
So I guess that his book was going to be so long that the publisher did not have the capabilities to print it all in the same book. And so they said that unless it was going to be like a $50 or $60 hardcover book, then he would have to print it as 2 separate books released a couple months apart. He wanted to release them within a week. Publishers said they didn't have the capacity to do that either.
So is this like a COVID supply chain issue, or?
No. It's a publisher thing. So you have Tor, that they have some kind of affiliate that publishes textbooks, is my understanding. So that's why they're able to pump out Brandon Sanderson's 1,200-page bricks. But this other publisher, I think it's Ace or something, they don't really have that. They just don't have the capabilities to handle it. So they'd have to partner with someone else, yada yada. I mean, it's a whole it's a whole business thing. And so Josh actually just put out a whole video recapping this and his opinion on it. So I don't know if you want to cover that at all, Josh.
Yeah, I'll just give a little mini version of my rant. And again, like I cover this more in detail, but I have not seen the interview that everybody references where Jim Butcher kind of explains this. I wasn't able to like scrub through the, dozens of hours of videos of interviews that he gave leading up to the book. So this is all based on YouTube comments, which we all know is the most reliable place to find good information.
Absolutely.
So, but my kind of thesis that I've developed is that there's 2 ways to view this, and both of them don't support like that your consumers are better off with 2 videos, right? Or with 2 books. Because in one instance, like maybe if you're just buying hardcovers, you might save like $10 to $20 maybe, assuming that you can get a deal on the hardcover as 2 separate books for like $20 each. And then the other one, you could not find a deal, and that was going to cost you $60. So maybe you could conceivably get like 60 or like save $20 on the hardcovers. Ben's flashing us his book covers. Okay. So maybe you could save $20. Everybody else that consumes it through electronic cover, or like ebooks or Kindle books or audiobooks, they're all screwed out of making an additional purchase. Right?
So,
it makes sense.
And I'm thinking more from the logistics of like story wise, like me being a non-Dresden fan, I read the first two and haven't felt the need to continue thus far, but
Oof.
the decision to split a book, like did it feel forced?
So that was my point two of my rant, was that the people that are buying hardcovers should be invested enough that like they should want most of all that narrative to be like exactly perfect. And I think it's pretty clear that this suffered narratively from being split into two books. So I don't know, at me on Discord, but
yeah, that's probably going to get you the most flack. That opinion.
It's pretty clear. I'm not saying that the books were bad, because those are two, like, I think top half entries of Dresden, but even like Jim Butcher wanted to do one book. And so of course it's going to suffer narratively if he has to split it up. I'm not saying that he didn't do a good job at it, because I think he did, but I think that it would have been better as one book.
There was some kind of strange things. Like I know there was, we're not going to talk any spoilers at all, but there was one instance where something happened to a character, and then right at the beginning of Battleground, it was referenced again. But if you hadn't just read Peace Talks, you'd be like, wait, what was this? Because there was like zero background given. So it was obviously something that would have made sense if it was one book, but since it was two books, you're like, yeah. So there's a little discontinuity.
Do you know how early on or late on he like that decision was forced upon him and like the writing?
Maybe in the famous interview it'll be there.
It was a few years ago. It was like 2 years ago that they announced that they were breaking it up. I thought it was a while ago.
But I mean, in the process of writing
not that long.
I don't think so. I mean, do you remember when the book trailer dropped for Peace Talks, and then the end of Peace Talks, it was like, and Battleground coming out in September. Right. That was a big thing, right? Like that was a surprise. So I don't think fans knew until earlier this year.
Okay.
I have no idea to answer your question though, Jake.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my rant though.
Listen to Josh's video for more details.
Yeah.
Seemed like we got a lot of details there to make a short story long.
By the time this episode comes out, Josh's video will probably have gone viral and all the Dresden fans will hate us.
I know. To be clear, we all really like Dresden. You cannot read 16 books of a series and not like it.
17 plus 2 whole short stories. There's 19. We've read 19 books, 400 plus page books. So
and we are
big Dresden fans.
If that video takes off too much, we might have to unlist it.
All right. So, and Battleground was very good. There was a lot that happened. Obviously, it was a battleground. It was a big game changer. We're all looking forward to the next entry after this one. And I'm looking forward to going to Chicago and checking out some of the sites that happened there, maybe one day. On to our next book. I guess so it's October 26th right now, and Dawn Chart is supposed to come out at the end of the month. We're kind of in the same situation. So I'm assuming Dawn Chart is like kind of in between the two. This is Brandon Sanderson's novella. So we're going to read this as soon as it comes out and get a review out pretty quickly, but we're all excited for that one. Apparently that one got a lot bigger than he was expecting.
Wait, so that's coming out at the end of this month?
Yeah, in like a few days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it comes out before Rhythm of War comes out.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's primarily from Rissen's perspective and some Lopen or the Lopen. And Sanderson said it was supposed to be like 25K words, ended up being like 57K, which is honestly more than even a novella. So it's like a short book here, at least 150-ish pages. So
novellone.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Nice. Yeah, I'm way excited. Like this whole like the month of October or November, I'm excited to just get Dawn Shard, start that up, and I mean, we'll see how fast we burn through it, right? But the idea would be as soon as you're done with Dawn Shard, then Rhythm of War comes out.
Yeah, there'll be a solid 2 weeks in between. We're trying to figure out how we want to cover Rhythm of War. Right now, we're talking about doing videos for every part, and then that way it's still a little bit serialized to kind of take off from my chapter reviews. We can cover a little bit more than one chapter, maybe. An episode per chapter once the whole book comes out would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for that book.
We could have a spin-off Fantology podcast that's just like Rhythm of War podcasts, like people do with Malzahn and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so
Stephen has been doing a great job on those chapter summaries. So check
Yeah,
those out if you want some Rhythm of War hype.
I
Yeah,
wonder
those have
what
been fun to do. Only 3
wonder-
more weeks, I think.
I wonder what the percentage of people who are going to read Rhythm of War that have not like started reading the chapters ahead of time.
I think it's pretty high, man. Like,
Is
here's
it?
the thing. Even like, for example, my father-in-law has read all the 3 previous books, but he had no idea like when the next one was even coming out. So there's like a definite like segment of the population that enjoys these books, but aren't like creating fantasy book content for the internet.
Yeah, but
Wait,
I feel
seriously?
like I feel
Those
like
people do exist.
I feel like the people who love the series are the majority of the people who read it, and the people who love the series are anxiously awaiting the next one. So I feel like the majority of people who have read Stormlight know when Rhythm of War is coming out.
I don't know, man. I
To
think
a
you have some
degree.
confirmation bias here. There's plenty of book series that people read, but they don't spend their time thinking about when the next one's going to come out.
But,
Yeah, Jake,
I mean,
you're living in the Fantology echo chamber here. Not
Yeah,
everyone is like us.
that may be true, but I just can't imagine liking something so much and then just, okay, now I'm done. I have no idea. Like, not interested
That
in
is true.
knowing when the next
So-
one's coming out.
So I think that there's a pretty high amount of people that haven't read the chapters.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people probably know that it's coming out, but I didn't even read the chapters leading up to
Oathbringer.
Oathbringer because
I did for sure.
I did too.
Uh,
I know, but I wasn't really into that. Like, I tried reading 1 or 2 and I just didn't enjoy it because I like binge reading, you know.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, Jake, how would you get that information? So say for example, you read Oathbringer when it came out like a few years ago. You're not following anybody, like you're not really on social media that much. Like my father-in-law, he's not on social media. He's not like following these things that would tell him when the book's going to come out. So like how would he hear
Google.
about it? Yeah,
I don't
but he's
know.
not sitting there Googling every day. I mean, so
I think
don't know.
everyone's Googling every day.
The thing is,
Depends
we
on how
just
much
don't want to.
information Google knows about you.
Actually, Yeah. this is true because I was at my dentist and he has read all the books. He's read the first 3 and he didn't know when Rhythm of War was coming out either.
Sounds
Ooh,
like
see,
it-
my father-in-law is also
okay.
a dentist, so it seems like this is a dentist problem. Yeah.
No, it seems like it's a generational thing. And I feel like the vast majority of Brandon Sanderson consumers are millennials and younger who are pretty apt at finding out information on the internet.
Outside of
But-
father-in-laws, I guess. And
Outside
dentists.
father-in-laws. Yeah. But to that point, my mom loves the series as well. And I told her new one's coming out. And she's like, oh, they're making another one? I'm like, yeah, Mom. It's not
So
done.
we've identified anybody over the age of 50 will have zero clue that this book is coming out unless we at Fantology do our jobs and remind them.
Shout out to my mom. I love you.
So anybody
Yeah.
that has anybody that's our age that has a parent or somebody else in their life, share Fantology with them.
Yeah.
I guess
Might
we
teach them
also
about
podcast. We also all know how much our parents listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
That they have no idea that this thing's coming out, and we put out
Yeah.
an episode a week for the past like 3 months.
Hey, my father has read these and he does know because
See,
I have informed him.
You've evangelized your love of the book.
Exactly.
you guys should see a Steven's family group chat. All his posts are just links to new Fantology videos. That's all he sends in there to keep his.
I would
family-
like to know how do you.
No, this is fictional. This is fictional.
Yeah, it was a joke, but to go along with what you said.
I could see it. You know what? I wonder. We have a friend named Jared who's not part of the podcast, but he has also read all these books. I wonder if he knows when this book is coming
That's a
out.
good point. I could see
Kason?
him not knowing.
No, Jared.
Jared.
Oh, Jared. But Kason could be a good person to ask too.
Yeah.
Jared's-
Okay.
Jared's so focused on life, though.
I think this is where we've arrived at. If you have a life
Yeah.
outside of fantasy books, then you
That
will
makes
not know when
sense.
this book is coming out.
That makes sense. That
checks
eliminates
out.
me. Yeah.
Common thread. Okay.
But the reason I brought this question up is more for the chapters. I have a coworker who is around our age who loves the series, but she refuses to read the chapters. And I like get it and I don't. like I get, like you said, Josh, not wanting to do it in a serialized format where you have to wait. But like at this point, so many chapters are out. How do you not just figure like you're starting the book, you know? And they have the audio out.
Yeah.
It's so tempting not to just
If
dive
they have
in.
the audio. That was a big deal. I think honestly, at least 30% of the reason why I'm reading it is so I don't accidentally get something spoiled for me, like in the months leading up to
Yeah,
it.
that's a
So,
good point.
I don't know. And that's because I'm around all this content all the time. So if you're not around it, then I don't know.
Yeah, the fantasy content world is dark and full of spoilers, so watch out. We do our best on Discord to keep things spoiler free, but every now and then things leak through.
Yeah.
What can you do? We did just recently upgrade our Discord. We're calling it Fantology 2.0. So if you'd like to talk with us more, join our Discord. Our links are in the episode descriptions. You can go in there and choose which episodes or which series you like, and then those channels will appear, and then you can go back in and delete them or whatever. It's all very personalized and very fun. There's emojis, so you're not going to want to miss that. That's a big piece of October news for Fantology.
Steven did a great job with this. I do also just want to further plug our Discord. It's a really good size. I believe there's like 150 people on there, but maybe, I don't know, a couple dozen that are pretty active. But I've started joining other, like booktuber and YouTuber Discords. And I feel like overwhelmed, because there's, just so many conversations going all the time. And I feel like if I ever say something, maybe one person will reply, but then somebody else will change the conversation. Our Discord's a good size where like, if you go on there, you're definitely going to get people responding and be able to like finish the conversation that you want to have. And usually one of us, if we've read the, content, will respond.
Think about that. You can have a personal conversation with one of us. What a treat.
Wow.
Listener.
So join our Discord and help it become big enough that it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
No. But that's what I don't anyway, because I really enjoy our Discord and going on there. So I was like, I should go join other Discords. And
you know what? We'll put the fear into you. Join our Discord and before we limit the size of it, and you cannot ever get in.
Oh yeah.
No, somebody else leaves.
Limited space.
Hard cap it, unknown number.
For a limited time only, until you become a Patreon, then we'll let you in.
Yeah, because I know how to limit the number of people that can come into Discord. Fantology 3.0.
That's 3.0.
No, I did go to join a Discord, and you had to be a $5 a month Patreon to do it.
I think that they do that for, it's like the Patreon perk of like YouTube channels and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean it's good.
Also, we are very grateful for our patrons. Patrons
are members of Patreon. Patreon is the platform.
Sure. Yeah.
And we're grateful
thank
for
you.
all
Shout
of
out.
our Discord members right now as well.
Hey, Josh, that sounds like some Discord you'd run into on the dark web, man. What's going on?
No, it was a big, I don't want to like throw the YouTube channel under the bus, but the YouTube channel has like 2 million subs on it. Like it's one of the bigger YouTube channels.
I think I know what channel you're talking about. They do Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah. I think that's the channel.
Nice. Good. That's Fantology reading. Like you can read each other's minds on here.
Yeah. Well, we've known each other for a few years. All right. So moving past books and random Fantology information. So there were some TV shows. The Boys finished up in October. We actually released a review on that. So you can get our full thoughts there. Dune was delayed, unfortunately. Bad news. And then His Dark Materials season 2 is coming out next month. That was announced. I don't know if there was other stuff. I guess The Mandalorian comes out on the 31st. So that's technically October. That'll run through November and December too.
Is it season 2 for His Dark Materials, or are they doing like the second half of season 1? Because I heard there was like, okay. I obviously haven't watched it, but I heard there was like some cuts due to COVID for season 1. So I didn't know if they were just like filling it in, or
they were going to do an extra episode in season 2 that got cut.
That
was like all Azrael backstory and James McAvoy, and I was really disappointed to hear that, unfortunately.
Yeah, because that was the one thing you wanted more of in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that sucks.
Yeah, COVID strikes again, unfortunately. I mean, worse things than this have happened, obviously. So The Boys, we all liked it. I mean, for the most part, like there were some ups and downs, but it was a pretty solid season.
Yeah. Also, I think Mandalorian comes out October 30th, just for anyone that
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we don't want people to be too excited for the 31st and then be mad because they missed opening night.
Or they missed
couldn't
opening
live
night
tweet
'cause
it.
all spoiled.
Yeah, they've had it all spoiled.
When did the Dune trailer come out? Was that September? Have we talked about
Yeah.
that?
That's when I first saw it. Yeah.
Okay. Did we talk about that last month? Because if not, it looks like a very high quality movie that they're putting out.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if we even talked about it. So I saw the trailer when I went and saw Tenant. That was in
Same.
September.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. And I think Jake is our somewhat Dune expert. I've started that book like 3 times and haven't finished it. So
I think I'm the only one of us who's finished it. I'm not the expert though.
So I swore to read it, but I don't remember exactly what the wording was because I either said I will read it before the movie comes out, or I said I will read it before the end of the year
You said
when
end
the
of
movie
year.
comes out. Is that what I said? Okay. Then I need to read it in December.
Steven's
even
really
if the
slippery
movie
with his
Yeah.
consumption
Hey,
commitment.
we go, Steven. Steven, what are you doing on New Year's Eve? I'm reading Dune.
well,
Yeah, 4.0 speed.
just so all of our listeners also know, back in I don't know, December of last year, January, Steven said, quote, "I will give everybody here
No. We don't need
$1
to.
million
This is
if COVID
not-
personally affects your life."
not fantasy
I have
book
had
related.
COVID. I have personally had COVID. So eventually Steven will have to pay up on his promises.
Please don't distribute that to everyone else. I'm gonna have to pay more millions of dollars. Yeah, that was one of my ice cold takes before things really took off.
I think that was before we even had any cases in the United States. When he
It
said
was.
that.
It was like when
Yeah.
it was a twinkle in China's eye.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
to be fair, like it wasn't a terrible take at the
Sty.
time, but
Yeah,
yeah,
sty.
it really did not age well.
Back to the Dune stuff. I'm no expert in Dune. I've only ever read the first book like once or twice, but I really liked it. So I'm really excited for the movie. Bittersweet that they're postponing it. Bitter because obviously we'd like to watch it now, but it sounds like it's going to be part 1 of 2, and 2 is only guaranteed if 1 does well. So
Ooh,
I'd rather
okay.
they delay it so we can get, back to where box offices are actually profitable in order
Yeah.
to guarantee a
So
second. But
This is kind of like a Kickstarter campaign for the second movie.
yeah, basically, yeah.
All right, everyone
They
go watch
need
it.
to hire Sanderson here then.
And we're
Does
we're
Kickstarter as
currently,
well.
we're currently doing a Dune read along, which in our Discord, which was started with the intent to finish it just in time for the movie coming out. So people are still reading it and still posting their thoughts in there. But we have a lot more time to read it now.
We've gotten
Good.
an extension
Glad-
on this homework assignment.
Glad to hear it. Hey, let me just say, I've watched the first episode of Dark, Jake, so I actually started that promise.
Oh, I know, yeah, but I say you're slippery with your commitments because it's taking you forever.
I'll do
You
it
were supposed to
eventually.
watch that- You were supposed to watch that forever ago.
Steven, you can't grab Steven. You have to like trap him in a corner. It's
Yeah.
the kind of like
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, more fantasy news. I feel like I have 2 things that I mentioned to talk about too. So
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about 2 lists that came out. One was on Reddit,
Yeah.
one was from
Mhm.
Time. Which one do you want to do first? So the one on Reddit was top novels of the decade from the 2010s. And then the Time one was the top 100 best fantasy books of all time ever. That one may be a little more controversial. Should we start with the Reddit one and kind of ease our way in? Honestly, this list is a little confusing to me because it's titled Top Fantasy Novels of the Decade. Novels, but the first entry is called The Stormlight Archive, which is not a novel. But just kind of like looking over this list in general, there's a few head scratchers here for me. I'm going to be honest.
well, okay, we can all agree that Stormlight Archive is great, right? So how do we feel about the number 1 spot here?
Yeah, I think it's got to be Stormlight Archive. As far as, I mean, I don't know what the grading criteria was, but this is the series that has taken fantasy by storm this past 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the votes
I agree.
reflect that. I mean, it's a killer. 222, almost double second place.
Yeah. Broken Earth. I have not read the Broken Earth.
I'm so confused
Series.
by Broken Earth.
Neither
I
I've heard of it, but I've never read it.
I started the first book. It was super weird. Gave up on it. I know two other people. Ryan read the whole thing. He was like meh on it. One of our big Discord contributors was like meh on it. My uncle read the whole thing. He was like, it was all right. But it has this huge following, and I do not understand. I mean, let me know if you're a big fan of this, why I should read again. I'm willing to give it another shot, but I just think it's so strange that it's been pushed so hard, but I haven't ever heard anything super great about it from anyone personally.
Yeah.
Fair.
Okay. And then number 3, the King Killer Chronicle. Is this
what
like
the
a
heck?
slight jab because it's not Chronicles? Isn't it? Shouldn't it be Chronicles? Are they like insinuating something with
I
not
don't know
including the
about
S here?
I don't know about that. It might just be Chronicle. We'll have to fact check that. But I think it's funny that
just
this
Chronicle. It's just Chronicle.
Chronicle,
Just fact
okay.
check.
is
Yeah.
okay. Thanks, Jake. But I think it's funny that Wise Man Fear came out in 2010. Came out at the end of 2010, the very beginning of the decade. Literally one book has been published. Comes in at number 3.
It was March 2011, right?
Was it 11?
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, March
All right.
2011.
Okay.
So
Cool.
1 year in.
Yeah, really making some headway.
Yeah. So, okay, we don't know Rag on King Killer, but I think
Yeah.
we can all agree that unless something happens here, this list should not appear on. I mean, the fact that this list is going to be able to, that this series is going to be able to appear on the 2010s, and if it's finished on the 2020s, is pretty sad. So, Mistborn,
Hopefully finish on the 2020s.
Yeah, I think we're all
Hopefully.
hoping for that.
we're all hoping.
I hope for it. This is the time where Ryan, if he was on with us tonight, would say something
Yeah.
snotty about Rothfuss.
Still
So,
has not responded to the tweet.
Yeah. So I
So-
tweeted something today.
so Steven's Mistborn era 2. Steven's not a fan of this.
Steven's Mistborn era too.
I honestly thought Mistborn Era 2 was a little like, I think they should have at first like just stuck with that first book, let it be like a filler, you know? But then once it got to the last book that's come out, I was like, okay, I like this. Like I like what they're doing with it. It just took a couple books
Yeah,
for me to
I
get
had
to-
the same exact opinion.
the plot felt important, but
Yeah.
a lot of people love it.
I love
Okay.
it. I really like it. I like the
Right.
new Alamancy
Yeah,
stuff
that part's
they've
really
been
cool.
doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not a steampunk person. All right, Red Rising is sweet.
Yeah, Red Rising, agree. I think that that's probably in my top 5 for sure.
What are your
Um,
thoughts on Red Rising being above Lightbringer?
I
so
don't
I'm
like
only on
it.
book 2 of Lightbringer. So.
I haven't read Lightbringer.
I still have not been able to finish Red Rising because I can't get into it, and I love
that's
Lightbringer.
right.
So
To me, I haven't read Lightbringer, but to like from hearing it from you guys, it sounds like a top tier series. And Red Rising to me was like a good one, but definitely like lower end. It was like that was really enjoyable, but nothing I'm gonna like.
Red Rising is
home
one that
about.
can really appeal to a lot more people. It's not a high
That's
reading
true,
level,
yeah.
super action packed, not
Yeah,
super
pretty accessible.
sophisticated. Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very accessible. So I see why it's
Yeah.
so high up. Why I see why there's a lot of fans. I like it quite a bit, but I do
Yeah.
think something like Lightbringer needs more. It needs more of a fandom around it because it's a really cool series.
Yeah. And then, so if we just kind of like, I think that it's cool that A Memory of Light was put in here because it's kind of a final chapter of Wheel of Time.
Yeah, let's
So
move
that
it
was
up a bit
awesome.
though. 11? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
I think
Yeah,
I
that
think
seems
people. I think it's because I mean I'm assuming that these other things are newer, whereas this was the end of such a series that spanned decades. That it's like okay, we liked
Yeah.
it, but it's not really a part of. It didn't really feel
Yeah.
as much a part of the decade. But I did want to read those Murderbot books. That sounded good. No idea what
Yeah.
that's about, but the name sounded
It's
cool.
intriguing. And then on number 7, Books of Babel, we have a Discord following that's reading through those, and they really like those. So we'll have to get to those.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to spend too much more time.
Powder
it's
Mage. Powder Mage should go up in my opinion. I really like Powder Mage.
I think it's a bit. Well, if you're just looking at 2010s, probably.
Yeah.
If I
I'm
were
just-
like ranking in my all-time series, I'd probably put it somewhere around like 15 to 20.
You know,
What
it
do you
should
think
go
about-
up.
What do we think about the Poppy War being pretty far down?
I didn't
That's
read that one.
surprising. It feels like more. Feels like it has a bigger following online.
Especially because it makes it into the Times top 100 books of all time.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Children of Time 31 is way good. My wife got me that for Christmas a couple years ago, and it's just a really good standalone sci-fi story. If you're into like kind of a harder sci-fi, that's a really good book.
Okay.
Wow, Abercrombie right next to Islington.
Islington. Yeah. Okay. What the
Wow,
heck?
That's way too far down.
Abercrombie. Okay, so the Heroes comes in at 17, which is weird. I mean, the Heroes was good, but A Little Hatred is really good. I said it was my favorite book of 2020 so far. I think I actually said Trouble's Peace. I think I actually said that Trouble with Peace was better, but I'm kind of prone to just throwing stuff out there. Anyway, both of these books should be a lot higher because Joe Abercrombie does not get enough credit. Abercrombie and Brent Weeks need to be higher up on this list.
Well,
Okay.
it just surprises me the difference between those. Like that Weeks is up at number 15 or 16 or something, and then Abercrombie's down at 37.
Yeah.
Well, and then the fact
Um,
that like so many things are coming in above change it, like Jim Butcher. Now keep in mind, we're already at like vote totals of like 19 and 20. So like
Yeah,
know,
not a lot
like,
of input.
Yeah.
if we would have posted this on our Discord, we could have like swayed the thing ourselves, you know. So I'm not putting too much stock into the list at this point.
It's a little weird. And it's weird that one Dresden book got in, like, why not the whole series? Like Sanderson got all of Stormlight Archive.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. Like what series got? Well, I guess was all of Stormlight. Yeah,
I
all
think
of
Stormlight
was
started in
published.
2010.
Yeah, so
But
that's probably
yeah.
why.
All right, should we go over to the time list?
Well, okay, I wanted to point out one other thing. So Brandon Sanderson got 432 votes in this. The next highest person was 129. So Sanderson was like 3.5 times more votes than second place.
And
So-
Well,
10
but
books. 10 books
But
in the
that's-
decade.
10 titles, yeah.
But that's also going to be why he might have gotten more votes, is because he had, twice as
Yeah,
many
but
titles.
still, it's just, I mean, it's pretty impressive to
Yeah.
me that like from the second place, that's not like 10. Like I bet you could total up like the next like 4 people, and it wouldn't even match it, you know?
Abercrombie did land. He was in, looks like top 5 or 6
Yeah.
of the authors, so
All
that's
right,
good.
all right.
Yeah, that was another like a interesting, different look at it.
Yeah.
All right,
So
let's-
anyway, I wanted to point that out.
Yeah, okay, let's look at
Butcher
time.
at the very bottom. Ouch.
Well,
Okay.
shut up, Jake.
It's interesting
Starting
that
conversation. I don't know.
I mean, to point this out too, there's 579 comments. That's like almost as many comments as votes. So anyway, there's some weird stuff happening here. So
All right, another poll where there's some weird stuff happening is the time poll.
So I'll just give a little primer. They had a board of people, of like established authors, come in and pick their favorite books throughout time. They could not nominate their own book. However, I think most of them did have books that ended up on the list. So there's definitely some like bias going on here. But let's just get that out of the way. And
so
we
so you think the bias is, since they couldn't nominate their own books, these great authors couldn't have their books?
no, Josh
No,
is
they
saying
could-
that they were having their friends nominate them.
well, like,
Okay.
yeah. So I don't know who all the authors were on the panel, but most of them ended up having a book on the list, from what I understand.
But
So
we don't know what who
yeah.
the authors are.
But they could not nominate their own work.
So
Okay.
here's the other thing. We I mean, people did not have very favorable opinions of this on our Discord. So we might also be in an echo chamber where we maybe just surround ourselves with people that like different styles of books than these. But I don't know. We can talk about that.
I
Let's go through
purposely
the books.
did not participate in the discussion on Discord because I don't know, I wasn't interested at the time. So maybe I'll have a fresh take outside
Okay.
the echo chamber.
Okay.
Okay, so
No
this starts
idea.
from the beginning. Like this is
And
way
this is
back.
chronologically, right? So
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
it goes by date.
Arabian Nights, I could see that belonging there, and Alice in Wonderland. I think those are good picks.
Alice in Wonderland is such a good book. It's like
Yeah.
legitimately has a lot of funny moments.
And then Through the Looking Glass, yeah.
And then and so keep on going. So
Oz is
we do-
really good.
we do some C.S. Lewis,
C.S.
obviously.
Lewis, yeah.
Mary Poppins, Lion
Don-
Witch. Yeah.
Don Treader is awesome, so that's got to be on there. Tolkien, I think all 3 of the Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
make
Which
it on there.
also, we do have a criticism here. Like, why put more? Like, if it's the most influential books, just put put the trilogy or something. You know.
Yeah, they could have done
Just with
that
the
with
first one.
Alice in Wonderland and C.S.
Well, I
Lewis.
think that was our criticism of the Reddit post. So here we're saying this is actually split up into different individual books.
Well, they serve different purposes, I think. I don't know. This is like most influential. So
James and the Giant Peach gave me major nightmares as a kid. The movie.
yeah,
Dude,
I
I
agree,
just-
man.
Guy.
Dude, I just showed it to Liam, my son, my
like it?
3-year-old son. Yeah, he was a little freaked out by the spider, but then he liked the spider.
What about the
make
rhino?
The peach juice stuff. The smoothie looks so good.
Well, we didn't watch all of it. We watched like 30 minutes of it. But
Do you guys ever read The Phantom Tollbooth?
No, but I've definitely heard people talk about it all the time.
So great. I had an old copy when I was a kid, read that so many times.
Nice. Wrinkle in Time. I
Wrinkle
read that
Time.
a couple of years ago. Or maybe
Wrinkle
just
in
a
Time
year
is
ago now.
it's weird stuff, man.
enjoyed
Dragonflight almost made it on my top covers
Ooh.
for cover art.
Okay,
Nice.
preview.
Almost.
No idea about The Last Unicorn. I don't know
Ursula-
any of these.
Wizard of Earthsea, I hear so many like modern authors cite as like a really good.
Yeah, I think we had a
series.
we had a Discord member just read Wizard of Earthsea and really liked
Yeah.
it. So yeah, we get another Swiftly Tilting Planet is one of the sequels to Wrinkle in Time. So that's another one that's Watership Down.
Down. Yeah, Princess Bride, Tuck Everlasting. I feel like
Roald
those
Dahl
are good
makes it
so
in
far.
again. Yeah. So these are
BFG.
good. I mean, this is like a pretty solid foundation of fantasy.
Redwall.
And then
yeah, Redwall belongs there.
and now we make it up to the 90s here with Eye of the
Yeah,
World.
so this is where we start getting our
Eye of the
say.
World, Good Omens.
No way, man. I just read off all those books that I'd read previous to this.
Okay. Well, okay, fair enough.
Outlander, is that the one that the show's based off of?
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
watched the show or read the book, but it's a phenomenon now.
It's fairly influential. Yeah, obviously.
Hold
Ella
on
Enchanted.
about this.
Ella Enchanted, I feel like, is questionable.
I've heard it's a
Never-
really good book. you read
Neverwhere
it?
is a really good book. Although I think I really like Stardust by Neil Gaiman, but I really like Neverwhere.
I like
too.
Stardust a lot.
But
Did you read Ella Enchanted, Stephen, or just watch the movie?
I probably read it when I was a kid because my sister had it checked out from the library and I read everything.
Harry Potter. It's weird that Prisoner of Azkaban is on here before Sorcerer's Stone. Like you'd think, to me, like all the Harry Potters are pretty much the like one continuous thing. So I wonder why they went with the third one.
Yeah, I mean, they like the third one, obviously. So the third one and the sixth one, to spoiler alert, is down a little bit further. We skipped
Interesting.
over both of the His Dark Materials. Well, the first two His Dark Materials. So that's two in
Yeah.
one list. And then Storm of Swords is pretty much regarded as the best Song of Ice and Fire
Yeah.
to date. So that makes sense it's on there. But again, only
American
one
Gods.
of that one.
yeah, another Neil Gaiman.
So Sanderson makes it in here. Half-Blood Prince, which we actually just reviewed.
Mistborn, Name of the Wind. City of
Yeah, so-
Glass was not good.
Dis. Yeah, so there's
my
a few. This is kind of where I start to question some of this
Yeah.
stuff. I feel like some of these are in here like I don't want to get political, but it does seem like a lot of it's just in here to like expand the voices of authors, and like that's fine, like that's influential for authors, but at the same time it's not necessarily like the best fantasy books. Like the list is called 100 best fantasy books, and I take that to mean like the most popular, the highest quality. And some
Well,
of these I don't think
I mean,
really
we
fit
don't-
that.
We don't know like the impact. Like a lot of these books that are coming up now are books that we wouldn't like aren't really in our interest, but we don't know how it's impacted fantasy as a whole. You know, we're in
Yeah.
our own corner of the fantasy.
But Jake, you have all of these
genre.
things, and The Way of Kings is not even on here. I mean, talk about an influential book that's obviously influenced people right away already, and it's not on this list.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's so weird to me.
That's true.
Mistborn is so a lot of the same ways that
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
but
my
this
my
is
my only thing with this is I'd like to see the reasoning on why they did and didn't pick multiples from the same author or the same series, I guess. Like what the criteria for that was.
yeah. And I
Um,
mean,
So-
we're not even familiar with some of these. Okay, An Ember in the Ashes, which is coming up. Like,
yeah,
that's a
I read
super
that one.
average. The super
Did,
average.
did you read that one,
series.
Steven?
I started, didn't even get through. I mean, I've heard like it's a good series, but top influential,
Yeah.
like really?
I enjoyed it. Like it was kind of fun to read, but I felt like I was watching like a TV show on
Yeah.
like CW or something.
And one of the other books in the series is in the, like 2 of this series are in here. And let me say again, 0 of the
Pause.
Stormlight Archive. That's questionable.
Steven's bitter.
I want to read Wall of Storms by Ken Liu. He's the back up a little bit, Ben. Or
Oh,
if I'm
he's
not
the guy who
mistaken, yeah,
he's the guy
the
who translated the
Three
Body.
Body Problem, and
Yeah.
he's had
Oh,
a
wow.
couple. He's had some of his stories adapted in that Love, Death, and Robots thing, which was pretty interesting. So he's on my to read list.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say there's 3 N.K. Jemisin books in here. Really? Yeah.
Have you read anything by her? I haven't.
She's
of Blood and
she's the
Bone,
Broken
I've
Earth
heard
that I
is
said
good.
I wasn't into.
Oh, Broken Earth. Okay.
So Poppy War.
Both
I
of
think
the Poppy War.
I think Poppy War deserves to be in here, and I am currently sitting at 45% of the way through
Dragon Republic.
and it's good. But I don't, man. If you're looking at best books, I just don't see some of these
Both
as
of
best
these?
books ever.
Yeah.
I will just say, from like Stephen, on the flip side of you not wanting to get political, we're all, 4, count Ryan, 5 white guys that are all the same age that, all like the same things, So
Yeah.
our interests obviously aren't the only interest that needs to be represented.
And best is such a vague term, you know.
But
So
we're
it could
not
be
saying
best
best
in
though.
a
We're
lot of
saying
different
most
ways.
influential.
Well, this
Well,
is
no,
best.
No, it
but
says
see,
best. It doesn't say
it
most
says
influential. It
best.
says best.
But
Okay.
there's so many different ways
It
to
does.
count that. So like our version of what is best isn't going to line up with someone else's criteria.
Well, if they want to make this list, why not say 100 most influential?
Yeah.
It's
Um.
it's not like this is
It's
some
Next, we're
award.
gonna start. Oh, see, Dragon Republic also making those lists. That's where I don't agree, man. You can get the Poppy War on there, but I don't know. Yeah,
Black Leopard, Red Wolf, I hear is really good. I started it, but then I didn't finish it before I checked
I've
it
heard
out.
it's like totally overrated and kind of weird.
Really? Everyone I've talked to said it's amazing. That's read it.
Yeah. Look at the Goodreads reviews, man. It's like 3 stars.
Man, you can't trust Goodreads.
You can when it's 3 stars.
Rage of Dragons, you guys are reading that right now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely deserves to be on here. Definitely.
I need to make more
I
progress.
have thoughts.
You know what we should
But-
do? We need to read all these books
Oh, wow.
in the next month or so, and then do our own decide which ones actually belong on here.
You can do that, Jake.
I think that'd be a
Alright.
good.
Maybe for the next decade, we'll be able to do that.
I mean, we've
Yeah.
read probably a quarter of them, right? You think there are 25 books on here we've read, and
I
then
have, yeah.
we're used to reading like epic fantasy, which is really long. How many of these books do you think are in that range? So probably
not
count
as
2
many,
or
but
3 of them.
Maybe
as
if we
one.
run out of content for 2021, we can start doing that.
Jake's about to start debating the meaning of time in this of all time. Does this include all future books as well?
All right, let's
Okay,
call
I think we
let's
beat
call
this
this
to
wrap.
death,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, it's time to transition over to our top 3 fantasy book covers. So we're just gonna go one at a time. I think some of us we're gonna try to do Zoom background. Some of us have just like a phone. We might be sharing screens, whatever. Technology will be available to show you the cover that we're trying to talk about on YouTube. So if you want to see the actual cover, check it out on YouTube. If you're listening, we'll try to describe it as much as possible. The idea here is in November, we're going to submit this to Twitter. We're going to get submissions from people and then run our little bracket. There's a prize for the winner based off the science of the Twitter poll, which we all know is infallible. So who wants to go first with their top 3 covers? And we're going to try to I don't know, we're going to try to stick to the US covers, but I have some that are some of the covers are really pretty if it's not just the most
I don't think we
popular
should-
cover. So
I
No,
don't think
here's
we should stick to
here-
just US.
I don't think the thing is. I think the rule here is unless you submit a different picture to us on Twitter,
Yeah.
then we're going to use the US cover.
okay.
Yeah.
And I would say the other thing is this is nice because it's kind of like the most broad thing you can do, but try and keep it fictional, right? We're not about to post
What-
nonfiction covers on here.
Or
what
aren't
do
they
you
just
think-
fantasy and sci-fi?
Well, that's why it's called fantasy.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I know that we're gonna get somebody on. Like, does this count as fantasy or sci-fi, or is this fiction, or
Okay.
I don't know, like
Okay,
historical
question.
fiction?
All right.
So does this include
Here we go. Here's Josh. Here's the person on
covers?
Twitter.
Does this include collector covers as well, like the Folio Society covers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Literally
Folio-
anything.
Yeah.
So Folio
Okay.
Society doesn't really have special
Well,
covers. Their
they-
books are
they're
super
more
high quality.
Binding and stuff.
As I look up at my Folio Society books over there.
Oh shit!
Minor
But,
flex.
Yeah,
Even flex.
it'd be cooler if I had my camera on them. But no, but I do have some. I have one from Subterranean Press, which is one of my favorite.
Okay. I'll go first.
The longing
Steven,
look and see
I know put a stop to Steven's flexing over there. I'll go first.
All right, let's see, Josh.
Okay. Let me share my screen. All right. You see?
All right, we're looking at Josh's
Nice.
screen. He's coming with Lies of Locke. Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Number
that
one.
That one almost made my list as well. Very
Yeah,
very
yeah,
pretty.
same here.
Ooh, all right. I thought I was gonna be like legit with this one. This one, the more you look at it, the more there is to see. The detail is outstanding, and it has a definite like feel to it, right? It gives you a
Yeah.
really good understanding of what the book is gonna be. Like the book is definitely gritty. It feels kind of dirty when you're reading it. Like
Yeah.
the prose
It's-
is really good.
It's like fantasy Venice, basically, is the setting.
Yeah. And just the artwork on this, like the lighting, the way the lighting is done is really intriguing. Like the splashes of red. I'm not like I'm getting too artistic with this, but the more you look at this cover, the more there is to like about it.
Nice.
Yeah, I love the
So
style.
why did you choose this one over? There's another Lies of Locke cover that has like kind of a guy sitting on a pole, and
I
it's
haven't
this.
seen that
It's
one.
a similar style to this.
Oh yeah. This is the one I always think of, but you're right. I do know which cover you're talking about.
There's several.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
I
well,
think the cover I see for the second Gentleman Bastards book, the Red Seas Under Red Skies, is a big downgrade in terms of cover art. I will say.
I agree. Yeah. I don't know if they got a different
Yeah,
artist or what.
pretty-
but-
yeah. Let's try
Yeah,
not to
okay.
insult any artists.
Shoot.
Sorry. All right, Josh, what's your next one?
Next one is Poppy
yeah.
War.
Okay.
I-
Very simple style.
Yeah,
But-
so this was a kind of a big change from the other one. I really like the simplicity, but it still again gets across, I think, of a lot of what's in the book,
Uh-huh.
with some of it being a little bit more like ephemeral, magic, and
And the style reflects the culture here as well.
yeah,
You know, it's kind of like this almost Chinese Oriental type of artwork.
yeah. I really like the second cover too. The second cover is really the book of this.
Yeah.
The cover of the second book is really good too.
Okay.
All right. Number 3, Rage of Dragons.
Josh, is this the Time 100 list?
man, I'm liking
Influential covers by Josh Robinson.
no, but this one is really good. Like the more you look at it, like you can see in the background, there's like additional artwork
Uh-huh.
with the soldiers back here, and then you get I'm trying to not spoil the magic system, but all of this back here, what I thought on my initial first inspection is just being kind of like background noise, is actually like pretty important to the book.
Okay.
And then I like the way that the weapons are behind there,
And again, that the shield is kind of like an African type design, which reflects the book, reflects the culture of the book.
yeah.
So
All right.
as you finish up here, Josh, what did you guys use to judge your picks on? Like kind of broad, like what makes a good cover of a book?
So I think most important, okay, I don't know if most important, but for me, it's very important to have both like really good artwork where I'm like impressed by it, and it really gets across the feeling of the book. If one of those things is off, I usually don't like the cover.
Hmm.
Fair.
And
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
just say I hate movie book covers. They're like the
Yeah.
absolute
Oh,
worst.
that's the worst.
I'll add one more thing to that is I think it should be like they say don't judge a book by a cover, but everyone does it. With a fantasy book you haven't read, you look at the cover and it has
Yeah.
to also be attractive and pull you in. Like whether the book is boring or not, if it has a good cover, good cover art, you're gonna
It'll
wanna
get
take
you to
a
open
look at
it.
Yeah.
So, what about the continuity between the series, like the books?
Like how
Like,
accurate.
because that's one thing that the Poppy War has going for it, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's very like it flows very well. And I know, like, even listening to Sanderson during like the Kickstarter, they put a lot of effort into like getting those leather bound books to like look really good sitting on a shelf next to each other.
Oh yeah,
So
they do look really good sitting on a shelf next to each other.
Steven's looking at a shelf. Okay.
I'll go next.
Okay.
Mine's kind of the opposite of Josh's. I feel like all of Josh's were newer and more modern covers, and mine are not. So starting it off with
All right.
number 3, I'll go with.
Can you share your screen, Jake?
Yeah, are you
Yeah.
gonna show us?
I'm opening it up. so-
Jake, are you gonna share your screen?
No, I think I'll just
Can
describe
you
it to
share?
you guys. Okay, here we go. We got
I've
Harry
seen this
Potter
guy.
Goblet of Fire. Yeah. And I picked this one. I wanted to pick a Harry Potter one because I remember as a kid, I loved looking at Harry Potter cover art because you see little bits of the story throughout. And kind of like what Josh said with Rage of Dragons, like after reading the story or getting to certain parts, seeing things you find in the cover, like, oh, that's what that's referring to now. It's like, oh, this is Bobaton and this is Sirius. Spoilers for Harry Potter, everyone. You know what I mean? Like, and that's something I really loved with Harry Potter, especially with the 4th one, because there's so much going on in the book. Also, what's up?
I love books that have the continuation from the front to the back on the cover.
Same.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
One
that's
of
why I
the
really wanted to find the full one.
Yeah, one of the reasons I almost picked Harry Potter is because of the font too. Like
Yeah.
that font that Harry Potter is written in,
Yeah,
it's become like a font of the world.
it's the Harry Potter font. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the Disney font. Like it's so
Yeah.
recognizable.
Yeah.
I did find this this alternate cover that I almost picked for it, but decided not to because I had no emotional attachment to it. But it's pretty cool.
There's a lot of
for-
Harry Potter editions. Yeah.
for Harry Potter. Can you see it?
Oh wow. Yeah.
Is
That's
it-
the illustrated one. Yeah, I have that.
Is it
I
the
have that
illustrated
book.
one? Yeah.
Oh,
it looked
Josh
way
is
cool.
flexing now.
Yeah.
But anyways,
This is a difference with kids versus without kids.
Yeah. Okay. Number 2.
Wait, Jake. I want to, before you move on from Harry Potter, we
Yeah.
had somebody on Discord say that perhaps the worst fantasy book cover is the original Harry Potter cover artwork.
The Philosopher's Stone one?
No, like
the-
the very
one
like
that
the
with
UK
the block-
edition.
The one with the blocky letters.
I don't
You-
know if I've ever seen that. Can you pull that up?
Yeah, let me try and find it. Let's see.
It's pretty bad. I agree.
Well, I'll have it ready to go on my turn. I'll go after
Okay.
Steven.
Okay. And then number 2, I have from the book Hyperion. I just love and I'm sorry, I have such a tiny picture of it. I couldn't find a big one, and like I can zoom in, but the quality is not good, as you can tell.
So you're trying
But,
to tell us that this is the best fantasy cover art ever, and we can't even find a good picture of it.
Yeah, I wish I had the hardcover book, but you have this beautiful landscape, and it's accurate to the story, like Josh was saying, and I really like just the art of it, the colors, and then you have the imposing figure of the Shrike here, and I love kind of that juxtaposition of this seemingly beautiful area and then this just imposing presence, and it really conveys well aspects of the story there.
I'm gonna say I started Hyperion just like reading it on a whim this week, and it is like a big learning curve, man. I am like
Yeah, it's like English
Struggling.
class again. It's like literature.
yeah, so Anyway, I do not know if I will be continuing with that, but it does have a pretty cool artwork right there.
Dude, you got to continue. It's so good. There's so many like philosophical pontificating.
The problem is, man, I'm reading these books at like between 11:30 at night and 12 o'clock at night. Like that is my reading time. So
That's
if I'm
not
going
the
to be
ideal
reading
reading
something, it's
yeah.
yeah. So anyway, okay.
And
Jake, what's your
then
top one?
for number one, I'm going with it even older, throwing it even further back. Someone in our Discord recently shared this, and I just knew I had to use it for this. So the original, I
Oh
don't
my
know if it's
gosh.
the original, but early Two Towers. I mean, it's got so much going on. You got the ring wraith on its fell beast, which in this it's like a bat Pegasus, and
Yeah,
then
it's a different fell beast than what I was expecting.
you have the elven script in the background. Actually, it looks more like dwarven runes. I don't really know, but just like looking at it, it's just screams like so fantasy, and like it's interesting how like the culture of fantasy book art has evolved over time. Like if you
Yeah,
saw
a little
someone,
bit.
like if you saw someone reading a book in this style with this style of cover today, it'd be like, I don't know, it just would stand out so much more compared to like the Rage of Dragons book, like looks so modern and like really cool for our culture. And I was just thinking about how for nerds back in the day, this is what was really cool. Also,
What's the letter behind that? Like, what is that? Just like something
That's
printed
what
on
Jake
there?
was saying. If it's
it's
Elven
like
or
some
Dwarf.
some like
gotcha.
yeah dwarvish script or something, or maybe Elvish, I don't know. And for those of you saying that is not how the winged beast that the ring wraiths rode should look, I was
It is a fell
Googling it.
beast. Fell beast is the name of the beast. Yeah.
Well, fell beast is just a description of it. It's not like the
According to
actual-
the Lord of the Rings wiki, it is called the fell beast.
Yeah, but if you read further down on the wiki, it says fell beast is just a descriptor for it. It was never officially named.
Ah, okay.
But
We're both fans of the wiki.
also from the wiki, I ascertained that there's no like, the only real description is that it had like featherless leathery wings that had like between fingers and bones, so kind of like bat-like or pterodactyl-like or something like that. So this very much could have been the creature. We don't know. But anyways, so those are my top three.
Am I up?
You're up, Steven.
All right, I'm going to rely on some Zoom technology. I have 6 that are really good. Can I just do 6?
Okay.
I'm joking. I'm going to do 3, and then I'll show you my honorable mentions. Okay, number 3. I'm going to choose this guy. Can you see?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Is that
so
the
this
graphic novel?
No, this is Lord of Chaos. This is from the newer editions. So
Okay.
Lord of Chaos, the original one is the puffy shirt book.
Right.
If you remember, Jake and Kid and I just reviewed it. But this is the newer edition. And you can't see behind me quite as much. But anyway, this is, I don't want to say spoilers for the book, but this is a big climactic scene. And it's depicted really cool here with the different factions. And I was a big fan of this artwork. Okay, my second pick is going to be, I mean, someone's got to choose this, right? You can't, yeah. Way of Kings. So I don't know how this one doesn't make it on our list. It's just so beautiful. I love the landscape, and kind of like what you guys were saying, like you can see what the book is just from this. It's like this alien terrain. It's so unique. You got the huge high storm and you have the warriors in the background. So that's cool. And then my top book, I don't know if you guys will even recognize this, but have you ever seen this cover before?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie, which made it up onto the Reddit list. And this is the Subterranean Press edition. So this is a limited edition. But look at this artwork. Like this artwork is so cool. You got this Northman, this Union man going at each other. They're about to shed all kinds of blood all over the place. And you have the hero stones in the background. Anyway, this is a fantastic piece of artwork.
That really does make it feel like you're right there in the middle, and like you can actually like really envision the war. So that's
yeah,
pretty
especially with me, like right here in the middle between
Yeah.
the.
Yeah,
I
you're
feel
about to get killed, man.
yeah, I'm gonna bail out. Okay, so those are my top three. I have a few honorable mentions as well later on. So Ben, what are yours?
Okay, so I will also be using this Zoom technology.
Ooh.
So let's see.
Dang, Josh and I feel like dweebs right now. Our
Yeah.
computers aren't strong enough to do the Zoom
Yeah,
technology.
your computers don't have enough cores.
Okay, so this is super cool.
Okay, I
So
had
this
this one
is
in my honorable mentions.
yeah. So King Killer. And what does anybody know what edition this is? Because this is for sure is not the one I read, but
Not the
It's-
one I read either.
Yeah, it's like an international edition.
yeah, but it is so cool. Like,
It's leagues beyond what we got too, and it's the American edition.
yeah, I mean,
Can
even
I just point out that my image is higher quality than Ben's image?
It's also reversed though.
Oh, fine.
Okay,
I'll unreverse it.
well,
How's that?
yeah. I don't know. It just everything was really cool. Even the like the loot, I don't know. Just I loved it. Okay.
Yeah, you see him like looking at the universities. He's wearing these battered clothes. He's got the loot. It just encapsulates this whole feeling of adventure. It's great. I assume
Yeah.
this is he's looking out at the university here.
Yeah.
Hopefully not like Tarbean.
So here is I will also include Harry. This is just a terrible image. I think that Zoom is like dumbing it down here. But I mean, come on. I remember having a dream as a child and I was in this image. Like this was me flying on a stick, trying to catch the golden snitch. And
It's a broomstick,
man, you really yeah, okay, sorry. You can't see a lot. Man, I should it's Zoom's doing something weird, but
everyone can picture the first Harry Potter book.
yeah, the first Harry Potter book. You also have Hogwarts in the background. You got Fluffy in the background in Hogwarts. I don't know, like you guys were saying, it's cool because you can picture what was going on in the book. So here I kind of did this like reverse order. Jake might be the only other person that's read this, but this is oh man, okay, this is
dang, that's too bad. It's too bad you can't really see it because that is a really cool cover.
Just share your screen, man.
I'm just gonna share the screen. Yeah, let me just do it. Seventh Son. So this is
I've read all but the last book of these, and I didn't read the last book because Jake didn't like it. From what I remember.
Which one? So this is the Alvin Maker series by Orson Scott
Alvin
Card.
Maker by Orson Scott Card. And
is this the last one? I haven't read this series. I know what you're talking about though.
No,
okay,
this is the first book.
Oh, okay. So, Zoom is like covering
Dang, that's
it.
a way cool cover. I didn't.
That's
I
cool.
had the two covers down as the one that I read, which is like a snippet of the cool cover.
Yeah, I'm like failing miserably with my attempts at.
Go up.
Sorry, man. We can see it.
Right click, open image, and new tab.
You're such an internet noob.
Do that.
Oh,
New window.
Well, it opened in a new window, which you're not sharing with us.
You don't want new window, man.
open
Open
image,
a new tab. It's the first one, man.
I'm just gonna
Not the link. Open image.
save image.
No, dude.
Okay. Save.
We're seeing your files now. You already had the image.
Anyway, this book is really cool because it really does give you an idea of what's happening in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And you can and you like really just want to see what's up with this boy who's examining this new magic that he's found and who his mentor is. I don't know. I thought it was really cool. I loved it.
Yeah, I love the detail of the tree and like, I don't know. That's just an amazing cover. I'd never seen that one. That's awesome.
Any more honorable mentions?
There were a lot of different Name of the Wind covers I really liked. And honestly, it just made me more and more frustrated with the cover that for some reason the US release that we got for it was terrible.
The one with like the blue cover and the guy, the hooded man.
It's like it's like a photo, like a cheap photograph. It looks like someone just like made that in Photoshop real quick. Sorry to whoever was the art director on that.
I really like the Powder Mage ones.
Yeah, those are
These
cool.
these are two of them, but
I'm just gonna say that
detail
whenever
on
I
this
look
guy.
at that image, I think of Jamie Lannister, that first one. I don't know why.
Look
That's
what
what
look
you-
what
it's-
notification just came on my phone as we're talking about Name of the Wind.
Rothfuss tweeted.
Patrick Rothfuss
The first time in
tweeted
a while.
in the first time in a while.
Did he
That's like
announce?
the biggest shade that Twitter can throw.
Did he announce the new book coming out?
No, he says, I don't know if I feel very attacked or very seen by Richard K. Drew's most recent book. Either way, I do know I enjoyed the hell out of it. If you haven't tried Sandman Slim, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Still no response.
All right. So Powder Mage is cool. Also, I love this one. I mean, another
Yeah.
Loch Lamora, but this like still like totally captures the feeling of the book. There's a reason
Man.
why maybe you didn't share on Zoom. It's hard to see, but
That's such a fun book.
these are
that
cool
one-
characters. This is Republic of Thieves, the third book.
Yeah.
This one really redeemed. The second one was like meh. The third one was
I
good.
just finished the second one and I'm very mad about it. So
Yeah, but the third one's
third
good.
one is the
man.
best book in the series.
okay, well we should after November dies down, we should review Gentleman Bastards.
Yeah,
That'll be
we
fun.
need to. It's so good.
Yeah.
Here,
Um,
let,
yeah.
let me share the Harry Potter, the original. I believe this is the original Harry Potter cover. So it's Harry standing in front of the Hogwarts Express
oh,
with
dang.
some stars. And
If you had a copy of this book, it's probably worth a lot of pounds, I'm guessing.
You know
Yeah.
what? It's not
It'll
it's not
bring-
terrible on
galleons-
its own, but it's just
galleons.
not as good. And like if I saw this, I imagine this book is probably one that's like a 25-page book, you know?
okay, well, Harry
Yeah.
looks like he's 30. He does not look like an 11-year-old. The blurb is ... This is a terrific book by
Dot,
the
dot,
Sunday
dot.
Telegraph. And then you have stars that look like they're drawn by, I don't want to.
It's embracing the like the child
the
audience.
childlike. Yeah. I mean, it looks like a very young kid's book.
Also,
Yeah.
right.
is Harry Potter about to get hit by the train?
That's what it looks like it could be. It looks like he's crossing the train track. He's like, oh crap. I did not know what those flashing lights meant. Even though I look like I'm 30.
I will say that it's cool that they have the Muggle world and the Wizarding world combined right there, like with
That's
the
cool. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Any more honorable mentions? This was fun.
yeah. Well, I will say, just if you're doing it on Twitter, vote on what like not necessarily the contents of the book are, just
Yeah.
just the cover. You know what I mean? We're not voting on the best book right here. We're voting on
We
like the
are
best cover.
purely advocating you to judge the book by the cover.
And
That
it's
is-
it's so hard to separate the two because of the, like I was saying with Harry Potter, like the nostalgia of looking at the cover as I read the book.
right.
But
So I also honorable mention. I can't believe nobody mentioned the first book of the Wheel of Time, because there's been so much talked about that cover in terms of like the recent casting
yeah,
and how covers of books make us think about protagonists, whereas like maybe that's not how they were actually described in the book. But it was a very it was certainly a cover that needs to be mentioned. So
I really like the cover, but it's definitely an old school feel to it, just people walking kind of thing, which I thought was fine, but I don't think it
Like-
was good enough to be on the top
Steven
list.
with a share.
It is,
Yeah.
it is really pretty artwork though, and I like how
It
you can
is.
see the people trailing behind and the
Yeah.
moon, the Drakkar.
The trees and
Yeah.
it's cool.
There's like a Drakkar in almost every cover art of that series.
Well, because that was back when you needed to have dragons, and despite
True.
Wheel of Time having
Yeah.
a dragon in like every page, there is no actual.
I almost put book 3, The Dragon Reborn, in there. I think that has some really cool artwork for the story and everything. This one I think is cool if you see it the way that we can see it now, with Stephen blocking out, holding up the horn, because the horn part looks so cheesy to me. But everything else looks cool. Like they're sneaking around. The Trollocs are like right behind them. Like
Yeah.
I'm using up all of the fantasy book covers I already have queued up into Zoom for no reason at all.
it's, Well, this is definitely an episode you guys are gonna. If you're listening on the podcast, you're gonna want to check out the YouTube video of so you can see all these covers. Otherwise,
Yeah.
try to blindly Google along.
And I'm sorry if you're driving and want to go want to look these up on your phone. Don't do that.
Don't Google and drive.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding people of this
Yeah,
this
no
basic
problem.
safety behavior. All right, thanks for listening. And again, so we will be starting this probably in conjunction with the release of this episode, which will be in early November. Some of our news might be a little dated. Dawnchart will be out by then, for example. But thanks for listening. If you'd like to support Fantology, you can do that at patreon.com/Fantology_books. You can find our whole list of catalogs, backlog of podcast and YouTube videos online at www.fantologybooks.com. We've covered pretty much everything that we talked about today to some extent. I mean, some more than others. We haven't done any Rothfuss episodes yet. I mean, yeah, maybe we're just mad. But we've covered quite a few things. We're up into 80s of episodes. We're trying to hit 100 by the end of the year. So any more parting shots from you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
be sure to check out Jake's spin-off podcast called Times 100 Most Influential Books Read. He will be doing that next month.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. But yeah, check it out. Coming soon. I was going to say check out Books for Prisoners.
Yeah.
The great charity that Michael Kramer and Kate Reading are big fans of, and we are also big fans of. So if you like them, you should also donate to that.
All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting Fantology as always. And we will see everyone later.
Peace.